Hello YouTube, this is Great Bear 1982. I'm back with you again. This time I'm going over the Shanghai Shadow. Shanghai Shadow is something I picked up for like 30 bucks off the Amazon. All it's said and being done, this is it. Like the GI Tonto, I have modified the sheath, I have modified the knife, and I'm going to go over those modifications with you. First thing I've done to this is I've put two knives on the outside. Now these knives I got off of the Lost Treasures. ZP handmade them a long time ago. For what they are, they're great. They're a small knife. It's kind of a utility blade, something that you can use in a bushcraft scenario. A lot of the time with like bushcraft camp tasks, you know, if you have anything much over 4 inches or much over 5 inches, you pretty much overknifed yourself. That's true. That's why you need to carry a smaller knife if you're going to carry a larger one. I carry a larger knife, so here's my smaller knife, and I put it right on the same blade. Since I'm going to be carrying this with the GI Tonto and all the implements that I have on that, I really don't need to double my implements, so I'm just going to use put a couple extra blades on it and call it good. Okay, so this is the one. This is pretty much the traditional Chozon utility knife. So here's one of them. I'll go over the ZP knives that I have later on in another video. This is the other small one that I have. ZP also made this one. As you can see, it's just a cord wrap, and it's a nice little knife. It's good for carving or whatever that I would need done. Quite honestly, yeah, it doesn't have a guard. Am I worried about that? No. I've been using a knife pretty much ever since I was 6 years old, and quite honestly, I realized that if I cut myself, oh well, that's part of using a knife. My personal theory is, you know, understand what you're doing, realize the risks, and try to minimize those as much as possible, but at the same time, nothing on this planet is ever going to be 100% totally safe. I'm not saying that you should rush into problems, but still at the same time, you know, things are inherently dangerous. Anyway, once again with the leg strap, I like a leg strap. Why do I like a leg strap? The leg strap is one of those things that aids in my retention. Also, hey, if I've got to draw my knife quickly, I don't want to have to be worried about, oh wait a minute, you know, this sheath isn't working with me or whatever. This leg strap forces the sheath to work with me when I get ready to pull my blade. It's very important. Now, notice that I've got a rope wrappet over on this thing instead of the scales. The reason why I have that is so that I have now the ability to use this as a rope dart. I'll go over there in a minute. Downside of that is that now I can't use this retention strap because it will not fit. It won't fit around there, which honestly is fine because it's a Kydex sheath, so it's got a retention point anyway to make sure that this thing doesn't fall out of there. So really, who cares? I really don't care. To draw it, I just simply, you know, pull it out. Now, we're going to look at this willow leaf blade for a second. The fact of the matter is that this thing cuts very well. The reason why it's able to cut very well is not only as a thin profile blade, but also with it having this nice curve here. If I put something through here, it's going to instinctively go right through it. For example, if I put, say, whatever. See how that is going to force its way through. That's why it cuts so well. Katanas cut well because of the curvature. Not only the curvature, but also the technique in using them, but the curvature certainly helps. Same deal here. That's why this cuts so well. It has a very thin point. It's great for piercing. Now, I've heard people say, well, but it doesn't throw so well because when it throws, there's a chance of the point breaking. Yes, the point can break. Okay, now we've understood that. This is a thin point. If it goes into a piece of wood or something else kind of stupid, yeah, there's a good chance that it's going to that it's going to break the point. On the other hand, if you're an expert thrower and you can make this thing stick every time, and you can make this thing stick just right, point first every time, you really won't have a problem with that very much. Now, also understand, when you're throwing at wood targets, that's a whole lot different than throwing at soft targets. Soft targets may have the ability to move or not, and also soft targets, they won't have the inherent resistance to the point going through that wood would. Haha, wood would. Anyway, so let's get into the grip. Okay. First off, understand that this is a double-edged knife. I can use this as a double-edged knife. I can use this as a boot knife if I so chose. But what it also has is it has this ring back here. This allows it to be used as a ring dagger. So inherently, I can actually use this more as a reverse-handed weapon and be able to switch from reverse to forward grip at any time. The great thing about having this ring is when you have this grip by the ring alone, it gives you this extra length here. Now, am I going to fight with it at this point the whole time? No, because my opponent's going to be able to track this length and he's going to adjust himself accordingly. However, if I have it here, and then when I need it, I flip it out in this type of motion, it's going to be harder for my opponent to track. That's the point. Okay? No pun intended. Okay? I've also got this ring here to use as bashing or whatever I need to from there. That's kind of a karambit thing to get on with Vampire for those types of things. There are some things that I can do with this thing that are very karambit-like. I'll probably go over that in a little while. Now I'm going to get to the rope dart. I'm going to back up and going to get into that. Okay guys, how I've got this grip set up is basically I've got some old, some rope that I picked up at Lowe's for cheap. I think it's got like a 320 pound test on it. And I've tied a simple bowline at the end of it. Now what this bowline allows me to do is put it straight onto my pinky right away. Okay, so this is going to be the hand that I'm going to have the rope attached to. Okay, then all I've got to do is drop the knife. Make sure I don't chop my foot off or anything. Now when I get this, I'm going to extend my arms. I'm going to bring them back together. Boom, and that's the length of my first loop. I'm going to extend my arms again. Boom, bring it back. Now this normally would be my second loop, and I could extend this out to 4 loops. I don't want to have that much play on this rope, so I've only got like 20 feet of this rope here. So I'm going to take my second loop and I'm just going to bring it to about halfway, which will allow me to have enough room so I can rotate the knife accordingly. Now if I need to shoot, I can do that just simply by, when I bring it up, I'm going to feed more rope to my blade however I want to do that. So I'll go here. See how that works? I'll go here. Okay? I'm trying to go nice and slow because I'm kind of going at my camera and I don't want to spear my camera. So, you know, I just feed. Okay, see how that works? Also, with this having this way, I can do a figure 8, I can flip it around, and when I go to catch this thing, understand how this happens. I catch it like this, okay? I flip it around, rotate around my hand, and I catch it like this. Now I have it here, okay? So now, if I needed to use this in a combat type situation, I can fling my rope out into my opponent's face and stab, okay? I can fling, I can cut, come back, stab, right here, boom. You know, so you see how that works. Also, by me having this length of rope right here, if I want to, say, block an incoming attack, let's say it's a stick or a hand or something like that, just like you would use for a Man Recruiter Sorry or a 10,000 power chain to block here, or a force snap block here. You know, I can do that here and then just switch right up. See how I can already, if there's an arm right here or a baseball bat or whatever, and I've blocked it here, yeah, this is gonna come in just a little bit. That's fine, because all I have to do is redirect the force into my opponent. So just boom. Okay. So that's something that you can use. Once again, rotate this around, open the hand, and it'll come right straight to the hand. Understand, I've been working with this for a long time. So, you know, use training knives when you're learning techniques. Go slow, train well, train hard, train often. Hi guys, something I have forgotten to show you is I want to make sure that you understand how to tie the rope to the Shanghai Shadow. If the rope comes off of this thing, this Shanghai Shadow will fly through the air at a tangent pretty much equal to where that it came off the rope. That could be in the direction of somebody that you are trying to defend. If that happens, guess what? You just committed fratricide, also known as brotherly killing. So guess what? We don't want to have that happen. So there is a specific knot that we use to ensure that we tie the rope to the weapon through the ring and make sure it doesn't come off. And this is called a double anchor knot. To tie this, you take the rope, you take the ring, you go through, just like that. Okay, I'm going to make sure I got plenty of rope here. And then since I've already got it through, I'm going to go through again. Now, that gives me that. Now, at this point, I'm going to flip this thing over, and I'm going to go under both, and I'm going to come out. And now when I come out, I'm going to come out through here. So it'll look like that. Okay. So all I did is I went over through there, went over both, through both, and when I came out, I just made sure that the tag end ended out at the side closest to my ring. See how that works? So that it kind of ends up looking, when I tighten everything down, like that. Okay. Now, then I just simply take this, and then I finish out with another 2/2 hitch. Okay, so after I'm done here, I just simply loop it through again, pull on the tag end, make sure I get it all nice and cinched up. If it comes loose a little bit while I'm cinching everything up, that's fine. It just tells me where I need to make sure I get it nice and tight. And then what I like to do at this point is I like to add an extra one, just to make sure. I always like to have redundancy, especially on my knots, because it very well could matter. Okay, and that's how you tie the anchor knot. I'm going to assume that everybody either knows a bow line or knows how to get a video on how to tie a bow line. Mitch Native Survival's got a couple of videos on that. So, there you go. I appreciate your time, your views, and your comments. Defend your homes wisely.